Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie B and I read a lot of books. I've just finished The Mother by T M Logan. I really enjoy T M Logan books. That is the front cover of the book. This was a ride reading this one. Tagline on the book is "How far will she go to get her family back?" Let's do that blurb. Framed for murder, now she's free. A woman attends a funeral standing in the shadows, watching in agony as her sons grieve, but she is unable to comfort them or reveal her secret. A decade earlier, Heather gets her children ready for bed and awaits the return of her husband Liam, little realising that this is the last night they will spend together as a family. Because tomorrow, she will be accused of Liam's murder. 10 years ago, Heather lost everything. Now she will stop at nothing to clear her name and to get her children back. So this was 400 pages on ebook on my phone. But yeah, it's in crime, thriller and legal. And this was one of those ones that just really keeps you on edge because you're constantly trying to figure out what's going on. I was trying to figure out like the duality of the title because I feel like T M Logan does that with his titles sometimes. Where it's just like, oh, does this apply to somebody else as well? But yeah, so you meet Heather at the beginning of the book. There's first like a little pre-section where she's standing at the edge of a funeral watching her sons grieve, and it's implied that at her funeral, and so you're trying to figure out what has happened in the lead up as to why she appears to be at the very back of her own funeral. And then as you go through the book, you find out that she has just gotten out of jail and she was put away for murdering her husband, and you get little flashbacks to what happened 10 years ago in the lead up to her getting arrested. And basically you see the argument that happened the night before. Heather basically thought that her husband may have been cheating on her. He works in politics, well-respected politician, and he was doing a lot of late nights to the point where Heather starts thinking, I think that Liam's having an affair because this feels like more than just work now. And so they have an argument the night before it happened where he was receiving phone calls and being really shady, and she's just there going, why won't you tell me what's going on? And a lot comes back to that conversation on what Liam was hiding, the husband. And so yeah, it's just such a good thriller to get your teeth into. Throughout the book, once she's been released from prison, she's fully into conspiracy mode because she has been in prison for 10 years for murdering her husband, and she knows that she didn't do it. But you do have slight unreliable narrator though, because you know that the night before that she'd been drinking and she'd had sleeping pills, and you get flashbacks to obviously the night before and the morning when she woke up, and the kids found their father first, and how she's painted in the press. It's the idea of like this murdering woman allowed her kids to find the body type thing. And so she's painted as this horrible, horrible person who murdered her husband because of an affair. And you realise there's little things of her being framed, like a phone that was found with pictures of her husband on it with another woman, and she's just there going, I've never seen these pictures before. I have no idea how they ended up on my phone. And so you're just there thinking, how reliable is Heather in this story? Because we know that she doesn't remember the whole night. It's kind of like that girl on the train thing where it's just like, you got somebody who even they can't trust their own memories because of their own issues. Like in Girl on the Train, she's admittedly a drunk, and that's why she starts questioning herself so much. I love a good, I just love a good unreliable narrator. Yeah, it's done in the first person, so it's all done from Heather's point of view, and her kind of tracking down and leaning into the conspiracy and trying to work out who could have framed her, because she is convinced that she did not stab her husband. It was a single knife wound, and this isn't like a moment of passion. in this murder, because you would have thought somebody angry would repeatedly stab, whereas it seems like a case of Liam was killed with a single knife wound just through the heart. And so you're just there thinking, who would have gotten into the house? You know, they had a dog and the dog never barked, so it's just like it was obviously somebody they knew. And so you're going through just trying to figure out, like, what happened, and is it closer to home than they realise? Choice wording there. It really looks into Liam's political life as to, like, what he was investigating, and the idea that he might have been some kind of whistleblower. Yeah. The people that get involved, because when she comes out and she's trying to find out everything and, like, what's going on, she realised pretty quickly that there's somebody following her. She goes to the library to look up stuff about what's been written about her over the years and to find out kind of what the general consensus is over her, and she's aware of somebody looking at her at the library. There's obviously the few people who are just like, oh no, I recognise her as this murderer that's just gotten out, but she's very aware that there seems to be somebody lurking and possibly following her around. And it's while she's at the library that she finds an article about a conspiracy, about the idea that Liam may have been a whistleblower and preparing to leak, and there was money involved and some kind of fraud. And so Heather meets up with this journalist saying, where did you get this information from? I want to find out how much truth there is to it, because I have been framed and I did not murder my husband. She's not allowed contact with her kids. They are with Liam's parents now, and she actually ends up turning up at their house because of actions from the grandparents, where she actually gets talking with Liam's sister, who she used to be really good friends with before the murder. And she's just there going, no, I have been framed, and if you believe me, can you please help me to understand what's going on and why Liam was murdered? Do you not want to know what actually happened to Liam? And she manages to convince the sister of her innocence, and the sister comes in and joins in on this hunt. So there ends up being a group of them, including a woman that Heather met at this kind of like halfway house when she got out of prison, almost like a shelter type place. And so yeah, she meets this other woman there and she makes friends with her, so she has a team essentially of people who believe in her to help her track everything down. So it's like proper investigating, and obviously self-investigating, because she knows that her case will never be reopened without solid evidence. She can't go to the police and say, oh, I think I might be being followed, because they think it's just a crazy person, and they'll get... She's scared that it will give them any excuse to send her back into prison, because she's on parole. She's served half of her sentence, I think, and it goes into that whole idea of just like, should life mean life? Because in the UK you don't have to serve full sentences, be let out on good behaviour, that kind of thing. So it really does look at the UK court system and the jail system a bit, which is interesting to read about as well. But yeah, it's a really, really good, clever book that puts a lot of questions in your mind. But seeing that first little section where it's implied she's at her own funeral, I'm just on the preview scrolling back to the first bit. Yeah, because the end of that section where it's just like, she's talking about the kids, she's like, I imagine them sweeping them both into my arms, the kids, and pulling them close, telling them that they are not alone in the world, not orphans, and that their mother will never ever leave them again. But that's not possible. Not yet. Not while they're attending my funeral. So yeah, you're just trying to figure out, like, how's it come to the point when she's essentially faked her own death. And so it leads into that conspiracy thing with the idea of just like, oh, so there must be somebody else involved if she's faking her death, because it sounds like she's trying to escape someone or something. So yeah, you know from the beginning that there has been some kind of setup. You're just trying to find out who's responsible for it, because they're trying to like follow the money. And one of those things where it's just like, there's a point when she sees what could be a possible motive in regards to the money, and she's just like, but that doesn't seem like enough. It's like, that seems like a really small amount of money compared to everything else that's happened. And the journalist that she's made friends with says a lot of the time the cover-up is bigger than the crime. And that is a really key sentence to this whole thing. The cover-up is bigger than the crime. And also, with it being the title The Mother, and you're very aware that the mother is Heather, but there's also an implication that things are closer to home, because she starts off really wide looking at the whole politics of everything, and it was just like, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's just like, do you want to look at the family? I'm just going to say that. Yeah, I greatly enjoyed this book. I love T M Logan. I'm looking at the other books that they have on BorrowBox at the moment, and there's only one that I'm looking at that I'm just like, I cannot remember if I've read this. So I need to go through my things, because I know I've read The Holiday, I know I've read The Catch, I know I've read Trust Me and Curfew, but looking at the blurb for Lies, it was just like, I'm not completely sure if I've read it. I want to see. I want to go to my YouTube channel and just search T M Logan and see if it's on there. Search T M Logan. Obviously I have not read Lies. I'm glad that my memory didn't fail me there, so I'm going to reserve that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying T M Logan. I've just started listening to The Lying Room by Nikki French. It says 7 hours and 4 minutes, so I could do that easily in a day if I wanted to. On a day off I could do that. And just started 3 Wishes by Leanne Moriarty, while still continuing the Sophia Beaufont series, not Sophia, the Paris Beaufont series on Kindle, as well as reading Whitehaven Witches. So I've got my hands in a lot of pies at the moment in regard to the books that I'm reading. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really loved the conspiracy at the heart of it. You gotta love a good conspiracy theory, right? And seeing Heather kind of trying to figure out everything after she's been released from prison, because she's had 10 years to think about what happened, like the night before it happened, and then what happened the next morning when the kids found him on the sofa, thought he was sleeping, and then she realised what had happened, and just trying to piece everything together, because it's just one of those ones where it's just like, I wish I saw it coming. I really do wish I saw it coming, but it has such a good twist in there. Just when you think that you're figuring it all out, something else happens and you're just like, oh, this is not going where I thought it was going. The Mother by T M Logan. I don't think I've read a bad book by T M Logan, to be honest. I love them all. There's your front cover again. So you've got a woman on the other side of the fence, and then a picture of a happy family torn apart in the grass. That is your description of the front cover. The 6th T M Logan book that I have read, and I've just reserved a 7th because I have not read Lies. So yeah, T M Logan, give me all of your work, because I really enjoy it. I don't think I could actually tell you what was my favourite. The Catch is definitely up there. That one really threw me for a loop, reading The Catch. And there is actually, was it a film or a TV series that they did for like Channel 4, Channel 5, which I never watched, but I'm very intrigued to track that down, because it was on like maybe a year or so ago. I don't remember if it was Channel 4 or Channel 5. I think it might have been Channel 5. Reading The Catch was so good, especially when you suddenly stopped getting the point of view of the father and you're just like, oh my god, what's happened? So it was so interesting to see how that is adapted for the screen. Anyway, I'm going to shut up because I want to go eat some lunch because my stomach is rumbling like hell. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the T M Logan books, talk to me in the comments about what your favourite book is, or if you have a favourite moment in any of the books. Try not to leave any spoilers for Lies, because that is going to be one that I'll be reading soon. But yeah, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video. Mwah. Stay safe, everybody. I love you all. Bye!